And Yahuwah appeared unto him, and said to him, Go not down into Mitzrayim. Dwell in the land that I shall tell you of, and sojourn in this land. And I will be with you, and Baruk you. For to you and to your seed will I give all this land. And I will establish my oath which I swore unto Abraham your father. And I will multiply your seed as the stars of the Shemayim. And I will give unto your seed all this land. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be baruked, because your father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, and my laws, and my ordinances, and my agreement. And now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. Amen. I mean, it's going to be a little while before I get into the study, but might as well just do some chit-chatting here for a second. You know, am I the only one who's not seeing drones? I don't know, when I get up and go to work, or when I come home from work, or when I go for a walk. It's like everybody in the whole world lost their minds over this stuff, and I'm over here being like, I don't see nothing. What's happening? And one of the things that I am seeing, though, is that the ability to create fake videos that look real at normal playing speed is off the charts, right? But there's some folks out here who know how to analyze the, slow down the video, and they run them through programs, and they can clearly see when it's an AI created video, or when it's an authentic or organic, so to say, video, right? And even the text that's on it, like if you watch the news and it has things that scroll across the bottom right down here, they can tell that that was not overlaid over the video, but a part of the original video creation, which has all the signatures of AI, which means that the entire thing was produced and fake. You kind of already know this, but like confirmation, that was pretty significant evidence. In fact, the person who I saw, the whistleblower on this, has patents on all this technology that the elites of the world are actually trying to rob him of. And so he's very concerned about his life being in danger, and noticing all kinds of strange happenings that go on. It is pretty amazing. But what about you? Have you seen drones yourself with your own eyes, or are you only seeing them on the internet? Or orbs, or what have you? I'm really just curious. I'm actually really concerned that a lot of people out here misunderstand what the scriptures say, when it's like, for example, in Yashar'Al or Ezekiel, where it says wheels within wheels. A lot of people think that that's referring to some kind of actual physical wheel, or some kind of UFO, but it's also in the Abrit tongue, it means whirlwinds, and the spirits move on the whirlwinds. Yahuwah himself comes on a whirlwind with judgment. And so these whirlwinds that are in these prophets in the last days, in the time of judgment, have eyes all over, because the wicked cannot escape them. They're able to discern and see all the righteous and the wicked, right? The lambs and the goats, the wheats and the tares. And so they're bringing the wrath of Yahuwah upon the transgressors, and they cannot escape. That's what the scripture is about. I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a video called Wheels Within the Wheels, Abba willing, soon. And I'm going to break down 2 Abrit words. They are actually... I think I could share one of them right now. This one, Aupan. So they say that it's Ophan, but the letters are Aleph. There's like some goal thing blocking my view. Get your goals out of the way there, TikTok. I don't care about your goals, okay? Right? Like, get out of the way. So, Aleph, Ua, Pei, Nun, Aupan. Okay, so that's how we would discern that. And let me flip my camera around so we can look down here at the bottom. It says chariot, wheel, and wheels. Okay, and I didn't look and see, just curious how many times this one's used in the scriptures. But let me show you another one as well while we're looking at that, which is really powerful. This is me not having my camera flipped around. Okay, this is Gamal Lamed, Gamal Lamed, Gal, Gal. Okay, so it says it's used 11 times. You see it right there, 11 times, and it means whirlwind, family. Whirlwind. And I want to tell you guys, anybody who has like understanding, okay, the scriptures are not talking about ships up in the sky, like visitors from other distant planets. None of that is biblical. Anybody who believes in that does not have an understanding of scripture at all. Because the truth of the creation, the cosmology, is that this place is flat, it's fixed, it's set upon pillars, it's unshakable, it's unmovable, and there's an impenetrable dome over our head. And the wicked spirits that have done all these abominations are going to face the judgment, and they cannot escape, they cannot leave. They want you to believe that they are aliens from another planet, but they're really just disembodied spirits. They're demons. Okay, they're the offspring of the fallen angels and man, the Nephal, the Nephilim, the giants, the mighty men of renown, all the titans of old, all this. Okay, and this is going to be a huge deception. And now they want people to believe that it's written in the Bible. It talks about UFOs, wheels within wheels, but what it's saying is whirlwinds within whirlwinds. And that the angels drove the whirlwinds, and wherever they looked to go, the whirlwind went up, down, to and fro throughout all the whole world to bring the judgment of Yahuwah. That's what that is. And I don't want people to be deceived, but I try to tell people these things and they don't listen, because it's not for everyone. Most people need to be deceived. It's the will of Yahuwah that they be deceived. Okay? So that's okay. It's on me to speak about these things. It's not on me to make people believe. I just have to try to put the information out there so that those who have ears to hear and eyes to see the truth can see it, and that they can share it, and that we can be delivered. I mean, I literally just saw a person has an emoji of the sigil of Lucifer. It just came in here. Okay, I know a lot of these people follow me, and they're all in the occult and into these dark practices and everything like that, you know. But again, they're not going to detour me. They're not going to stop me from speaking the Most High's truths. That's not how this works. Thank you for the follow. I see Razzle Dazzle to you, and I see Saman. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you all you guys who are coming in. How many of you guys are familiar with what they call Jubilees, the book of Jubilees, which is actually Yubalym, which means ram's horn, Baruk Yahuah. And we've been going through it. We did chapters 1 through 5, and then we did another one 6 through 10, and then 11 through 15, and then 16 through 20, and today we're going to be on 21 through 25. 21 through 25. Let me show you what I prepared, the background, okay? Because I chose the title Well of the Oath. Obviously, in 5 chapters of scripture, we're going to cover a lot more things than just one topic, but you got to have a title, I guess, right? And that's one of the things that comes up. These wells, the wells of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, right? I think I would like to open with Abinu's Palal. So I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me because I have to do a couple clicks to get there. And hopefully you're able to see. I can zoom in a little bit. This is Abinu's Palal, or Our Father's Prayer in the clean tongue. Okay? So you should be able to see here and kind of follow along. Abinu Bashamayam Kadash Ki Shamka Malak Utka Bua Ya Ra'uka Asha All Arats Khan Bashamayam Natan Lanu Chayum At Lacham Bahat Sarak. Let me go to the next page. Usalach Lanu Lachatainu Ki Lanu Salach Utam Lachataim Kum Kara Lanu Parat Lanu Lata'ah Yasha Lanu Marasha La Malak Utka Shulat Hakach Hakabar Bahasham Al Kal Shamut Yahuah is Yahusha Aman. So I'll go ahead and go over this in English for understanding. Our Father in heaven, separated is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth so it is in heaven. Give us a day, agreement or oath, bread in the need. And forgive us for our crimes as we forgive them for their crimes against us. Lead us not astray and rescue us from evil doing, for your kingdom reigns, the power and the esteem, in the name above all names. Yahuah is Yahusha. Halu Yahuah. Halu Yahuah. Alright, so welcome in. Thank you guys for coming through. Hopefully you're able to share this with our brothers and sisters. We can get everyone in here who wants to hear. As always, Abba willing, this will all be uploaded to the YouTube channel, Qadashayam of Yasharal, which is My Righteous People's Yashar'Al, from Yahuwah's perspective, because ultimately this oath isn't an agreement, one man to another man, Abraham to Abimelech. That's not really the point. The point of the oath is the agreement between Yahuwah, the Creator, the Most High, and His bride. Right? We have Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, and we have had many others who have gone into this oath and this agreement with the Most High Yahuwah, that He would be our Elohim and we would be His people, and all that He commands us to do, that we will do. So Baruk Yahuah. If you guys have any questions, you can thank you for the follow, fearfully and wonderfully made. Appreciate that. Welcome in. You can put them up in the chat. And my beautiful Asha, Discount Daylight, is here. Please follow her as well. You see her right there giving gifts. Thank you, sweetheart. And she'll be moderating, and if there's something that comes up, then she will let me know. Okay? And any question that has to do with Yahuwah, with end times, with the scriptures, is relevant. Nothing is like off the table, that if it relates to our amunah and practice, the word of truth, righteousness, all those things. Okay? Even though we're talking about these 5 chapters in Yubalym right now, I will still try to answer anything that's relevant and weighty, significant. You know, these things matter, and we're assembled together as a Qadash assembly to share His truth, but to love on one another too. Look at that cool hat, right? So
I didn't know I was gonna do that. Sorry.
It's okay. It was cute. So, Palal requests, praise reports, questions. My email is in the linked tree. The YouTube is in the linked tree in the bio. There's over 400 videos on the YouTube channel covering a lot of different topics too. You could go check out. But Baruk Yahuah, let's get started. So the book of Yubalym, chapter 20, and it reads, "And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael they say, and his 12 sons, along with Yitzhak and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah and their sons." Okay? "And he commanded them that they should observe the way of Yahuah," the way, the Torah, the commandments, the statutes, the feasts, "and that they should work righteousness and love their neighbors and act on this manner amongst all peoples, and that they should each so walk with regard to them as to do judgments and righteousness upon the earth. That they should circumcise their sons according to the agreement which he had made with them, and to not deviate to the right hand or to the left hand of all the paths which Yahuwah had commanded us. And that we should guard ourselves from all fornications and uncleanness, and renounce from amongst us all the fornicators and unclean ones. And if any woman or maid commit fornication amongst you," well, I don't know if I could just come right out and say this. So what the scripture says, "Burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes and their hearts, and let them not take to themselves females from the daughters of the Canaanites and from the seed of Canaan, because they will be rooted out of the land." Baruk Yahuah. And if you want to know more about that, you should definitely go check out the second video in the series that we did. Can't remember what the title of it was, but it was 6 through 10. Anyways, there's a whole playlist of Yubalym if you want to go back and check these out, and they're in order. "And he told them the judgment of the Nephilim," which is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, the wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash who are causing all the issues on the face of the earth, the bloodshed, the weaponry, the vanity, the idolatry, "and the judgment of the Sodomim," or Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had been unalived on account of their fornications and their uncleanness and their mutual corruptions through their fornications. Yeah. "Guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from the pollution of chata, which is transgression, or what they call sin." All right? And we don't speak that because it's actually the name of a Formighty One. "Lest you make our name to be a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons to be destroyed by the sword, and you become accursed like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Amorah, Sodom and Gomorrah. I implore you, my sons, love the Elohim of the Shemayim, the heavens, and cleave you to all his commandments, and walk not after their idols and after their uncleanness, and make not for yourselves molten or graven images of foreign mighty ones." Okay? Foreign mighty ones. "For they are all of vanity, and there is no ruach in them," or spirit. Also in the abrit, the word that means breath, which also is life. Like the Father Yahuwah breathed into Adam life, right? "For they're actually just the work of a man's hands, and all who trust in them actually trust in nothing." You know, and I love this because I've been saying this for a while, especially like people who believe in Big Bang cosmology and evolution and all this stuff. They literally believe that everything came from nothing. So they put their hope in that nothing. They put their trust in that nothing. And their amunah in that nothing, right? When actually the truth of it is that it all came from Yahuwah, and we should be putting our trust in Yahuwah and our belief in Yahuwah and our amunah in Yahuwah. Baruk Yahuah. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve all Yon and worship him continually, and hope for his continuance or countenance always, working uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you and grant you his chesed or mercy, sending rain upon you, dawning and evening. And that he would send his rain upon you, dawning and evening, which is also symbolic of Baruchs that come down from heaven from the Father of lights. Just like the waiting for the latter rains for your crops, for your harvest, for there to be much fruit in your labors. Okay? So, and it's also used in an analogous way for us to be patient and wait for his return. Yeah? Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. And that he shall send his rain upon you dawning and evening, and Baruch you with all the works which you have wrought upon the earth, and Baruch your bread and your water, and the fruit of your womb, your offspring, the fruit of your land, your herds, your cattle, your flocks, your sheep, and you will be for a Barukah upon the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you, and Baruch your sons in my name, that they may be Baruched as I am. So just remember, Abraham has assembled together all of his sons from his 3 wives so he can instruct them in the way in righteousness. And he's saying that you may be Baruched as I have been Baruched. Yeah? And he gave to Yishmael and to his sons and the sons of Keturah gifts, and sent them away from Yatzak, his son. And he gave everything to Yatzak, his son. And Yishmael and his sons and the sons of Keturah and their sons went together and dwelt from Paran, entering into Babel, in the land which is towards the east, facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their name was called Arabim and Yishmaelim, Arabs and Ishmaelites. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys real quick the name of Yatzak. Bear with me. Okay, so let me see. Here we go. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I try to transliterate these from the original tongues, and I know these are written in the modern, and they have the vowel points down here. Yahuwah never gave us vowel points, so we don't care about that. Okay, that's how the lying scribes. But the first letter is a yod, a tzadi, a chat, and a kuf. And so that is like these letters. So you see right here, the pictos, the original ancient letters that Yahuwah wrote with his own finger on sapphire stone, sapphire tablets, and also that he gave to Masha at Mount Sinai when Masha smashed the originals in his righteous anger about the people's idolatry. So for Yatzak we had a yod. Remember, they had this letter, but this is what it looks like. Okay, yod. A tzadi, which is here, this little guy. And you have to forgive me because I actually forgot. Let me look again. Okay, a chat, which is this one right here. And then a cough, a Q sound. Okay? So, it's actually Yatzchak. Okay? And I know that is a mouthful. But that's how we would pronounce his name, and they say that it means he laughs. And I'll show you in the scripture that's confirmed because of what Sarah says about it too. Baruk Yahuah. Okay. Chapter 21. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Yitzhak his son and commanded him, saying, I have become old, and know not the day of my death, and I am complete in all my days. And behold, I am 175 years old. Throughout all the days of my life I have remembered Yahuwah, and sought with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways. My soul has hated idols, given my heart and ruach, that I might observe to do all the will of him who created me. For he is the living Elohim, and he is Qadash, and made of Amunah, or trustworthy. And he is righteous beyond all, and there is with him no accepting of a man's person and no accepting of gifts, meaning he can't be bought off, and he doesn't give you favoritism just because of who your bloodline is, like this. For Elohim is righteous and executes his judgments on all those who transgress his commandments and despise his oath. And do you, my son, observe his commandments and his ordinances and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations, and after the graven images, and after the molten images, and eat no blood at all of animal or cattle or any bird which flies in the heaven. And if you do slay the victim as an acceptable offering, do so and pour out its blood upon the altar, and also all the fat as an offering on the altar, with fine flour and oblation mingled with oil, with its drink offering unto them together on the altar of the ascending smoke offering. It is a sweet, savory aroma before Yahuwah. Baruk Yahuah. And you will offer the fat of the sacrifice and thank offering on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat of the inwards, and of the 2 kidneys, and all the fat that is thereupon, and with the loins and the liver you shall remove together with the kidneys, and offer all these a sweet savor acceptable before Yahuwah, with its oblation and with its drink offering for a sweet savor, and the bread offering unto Yahuwah, and eat its meat on that day, or on the 2nd day, and let not the sun of the 2nd day go down upon it until it be eaten, and let nothing be left over for the 3rd day, for it is not acceptable, for it is not approved, and let no longer it be eaten. And all who eat thereof will bring transgressions upon themselves, for thus I have found it written in the Sepharim of our forefathers, and in the words of Chanuk, and in the words of Nach, which is what they call Noah. And of all your oblations you shall strew salt, and let not the salt of the oath be lacking in your oblations before Yahuwah. And as regards as the wood of the sacrifices, beware lest you bring other woods from the altar in addition to these: cypress, bay, almond, fern, pine, cedar, savin, fig, oil, myrrh, laurel, ashpalathus, and of these kinds of wood lay upon the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested to their appearance, and do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault, a sound and new growth, and do not lay thereon old woods, for the fragrance is gone out from it, for there is no longer fragrance in it, as it was before. Beside these kinds of wood there is no other that you shall place on the altar, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance goes not up unto the Shemayim. That's amazing stuff. I don't know how many people know about that or talk about that, but there's certain types of woods that are Qadash to use in the sacrifices upon the altar, and there are other ones that we should not. Would not be considered clean. Okay, and so we need to learn these things, we need to recover these things, and we need to put these things into practice. Okay, because of the cursing, a lot of these things are lost to us. Truth of scriptures were lost to us, true names were lost to us, we're speaking names of devils, we're speaking all kinds of curses, our entire tongue is unclean, and we don't know all the feasts. I've been trying to tell people about the 4 seasonal new moons, okay? A lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people don't know when the true Shabbat is, because they're still esteeming Saturn's Sabbath, which is dark and evil, okay? Unfortunately, all I can do is try to tell people and share with people and answer questions, and all I can do is try to lead this way. But yeah, I don't know exactly what wood it is that I have out here. I didn't raise up the wood. I didn't chop down the wood. I purchased the wood from someone selling it in the marketplace on Facebook, you know? So
got some of it from our neighbor.
Yeah, and we got some of it from our neighbor. That's true. Maybe he would be able to tell me what kind it is. I don't know.
He did, and I just forgot what it is.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We have some stuff in here that we can learn, and we can seek out understanding about these different types of woods, okay? Observe this commandment and do it, my sons, that you may be upright in all your deeds, and at all times be clean in your body, and wash yourself with water before you approach to make an offering at the altar. Wash your hands and your feet before you draw near to the altar. And when you are done sacrificing, wash again your hands and your feet. Also, please understand, this is before Masha. This is before Mount Sinai. This is before the Levitical priesthood. Okay? Right? You understand that we're talking about Abraham, and he's talking to Yitzhak, right? Isaac, they like to call him. Okay? So the 12 sons are not even born yet, right? And so the understanding of the altar, the sacrifices, the types of meats that are clean, what to do with the fat, what to do with the blood, what kind of wood to use, all this stuff was known by our people going way back. Again, the sons of Adam knew to make sacrifice, Cain and Abel. Okay? So understand, it's not something that's new at Mount Sinai. It was renewed. And let no blood appear upon you or upon your clothing, but be on guard, my son, against blood. Be on guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust. Do not eat any of it, for it is the soul. It says the life is in the blood. Hey, Damon, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. All right? Do not eat any of the blood, for it is the soul. And we have a reference right here to Leviticus 17:11. I'm wondering if I should go look that up.
I can read it.
Okay, get me 17:11, please, sweetheart. Welcome in. We have not been going very long. We went through chapter 20, and we're in chapter 21, about halfway down.
Want me to read it? Or
Yep, please do it. Leviticus 17:11.
For the soul of the flesh is in the blood. He and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood of him that makes an atonement in the soul.
Thank you, sweetheart. Eat no blood whatsoever. I've said this several times, and I'll just say it again really quick, okay? Eating your steak medium rare is not consuming blood, okay? There's a difference between hemoglobin, which is the blood, and myoglobin, which is the protein in the meat that has the same type of color, but that meat is already drained out of the blood. So make sure that you don't let anyone deceive you on that, okay? Yes, honey.
That's why we can't eat the organs either, because you can't drain the blood out of the organs.
Right.
You can only drain it from the I forget what it's called, but the muscle. Mm-hmm. It will drain from the muscle, but it will not drain out of the organs. And
right.
That's why we don't eat organs, people.
Yeah, and also the commandment was for the organs to be given as an offering unto Yahuah, along with the blood and the fat and all that part. We do not consume that. Okay? Thank you, sweetheart.
Welcome.
Take no gift for the blood of man, lest it shall be shed with impunity, without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to transgress. And the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of a man unless it be by the blood of the one who shed it. That's why live by the sword, die by the sword. That's why eye for an eye. That's why, if you take a life, your life will be required of you. was that Cain slew his brother Abel with a stone, and then later he was slain by a stone from his own household, right? So he had to die the same way, right? He killed his own brother, and then so a family member ended him. So that's how that goes. Take no present gift for the blood of a man, blood for blood, that you may be acceptable to Yahuah al-Alyan, for he is the defense of the righteous, that you may be preserved from all evil, and that you may save yourself from every kind of unaliving. I see, my son, that all the works of the children of Adam are chata, transgression, and wicked, and all their deeds and uncleanness are an abomination and a pollution, and there is no righteousness within them. Beware, lest you should walk in their ways, and tread in their paths, and transgress their transgressions that lead unto death before Al-Alyan. Else he will hide his face from you, and give you back into the hands of your transgression, and root you up out of the land, and your seed likewise from under the Shemayim, or the heaven, and your name and your seed perish from the earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the ordinances of Al-Alyan, and do his will, and be upright in all things. And he will Baruk you in all your deeds, raising you up from you a plant of righteousness throughout all the earth, throughout all the generations of the earth. And my name and your name shall not be forgotten under the Shemayim forever. Now go, my son, in Shalum. May Al-Alyan, my Elohim, and your Elohim strengthen you to do his will. And may he Baruk you and your seed and the remnant of your seed for the generations forever with all righteousness. Baruk Haz, that you may be a Baruk upon the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. That was chapter 21. Alright, chapter 22. And it came to pass in the first week, in the 44th Jubilee, and in the second year, that is a year the which Abraham died, that Yitzchak and Ishmael came from the well of the oath. The well of the oath. I'm going to try to talk about it a little bit, to give a little bit more understanding. I've been seeking understanding on this. To celebrate the feast of Shabuot. Shabuot is like the wedding anniversary. It comes in the third month. Let me flip the camera around and turn off this background thingy. See if I got... This is the calendar I'm going to try to open up for y'all. So let me close this. And we're going to go down. Okay, so this is the first month. Right? We have the Pesach right here. We have a Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. We have the first new moon day right here, which is the sign in the Shemayim that spring is beginning. And then the second month, we have the second Pesach, in case anyone missed it. The time that the moon is full in the second month is not significant in his Moedim. It is not a marker for anything. Here's Shabuot, so third month. Earlier this year, it also fell that the moon was full on the day of Shabuot. It falls pretty much in the middle of the third month, Baruk Yahuah. Okay? So, I'm going to try to continue. So, it is that after Abraham passed away, Yitzchak and Ishmael came to the well of the oath to celebrate the feast of Shabuot, which is also what they call the feast of first fruits. It is because it is of a double nature. Okay, my opinion regarding the well of the oath is that the oath is the oath between Yahuah and his people, which is what Shabuot is really all about, right? All the forefathers were esteeming these feasts. Nak, we talked about earlier that he was keeping it. We know that Masha gave the law at Sinai and sprinkled the blood on the people when they said that, we will be Yahuwah's people. Kapha in the book of Acts in the upper room where they had Pentecost and tongues of fire. Okay, let's see. The feast of first fruits and the harvest of Abraham their father, and Abraham rejoiced because the two sons had come, for Yitzhak had great possessions in Ba'ar Shabah. I got another one I want to show you guys. So let me see if I can pull up. Should be right here. Let's zoom in. Come on. Okay. So this is the one that in the Yiddish they call Beersheva, but the letters are Bat Aleph Rash, Shin Bat Ayin. So it's actually Ba'ar Shaba, Ba'ar Shabah, Ba'ar Shabah, and it means well of the oath, or well of the sevenfold oath. Okay. All right. And our people have history at these locations, okay? It wasn't just only something to do with King Abimelech. It goes back farther. All right. Yitzhak had many possessions, and in Beersheba and Yitzhak was wont to go and see his possessions and return unto his father. And in those days Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together, and Yitzhak offered a sacrifice for an ascending smoke offering and presented it unto the altar of his father, which he had made at Hebron. And he offered a thank offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael his brother, and Ribkah made new cakes from new grain, and gave them for Yaakov her son, to take them to Abraham his father for the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and Baruk the creator of all things before he pass away. Okay, so this is like almost like a going away thing for Abraham too, because he's still there, he's still alive. And Yitzhak too sent by the hand of Yaakov to Abraham a best thank offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank, and Baruked Al-Alyan, who had created the heavens and the earth, and who made all the fat things of the earth, and had given them unto the children of man, that they might eat and drink, and Baruk their creator. And now I give thanks unto you, my Elohim, because you have caused me to see this day. Behold, I am 150 years old, an old man, completed in my days, and all my days have been unto me like Shalum. The sword of the adversary has not overcome me, and all that you have given me, and my children all the days of my life unto this day. And you guys, Abraham was slaying giants. He was taking on all these big pagan kings, recovering stolen property. We just can't perceive Abraham just be this old rickety old man. Like, he was a mighty warrior who had a lot of trust and obedience unto Yahuwah. Okay, Yahuwah fought for him. Yahuwah done a lot for him and his seed by the promises. Barak Yahuwah. Okay, my Elohim, may you have mercy and shalom upon your servant and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to you a chosen nation and an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from henceforth unto all the days of the generations of the earth, unto all ages. This is like saying this is Abraham's dying wish to his creator, that he's faithfully served out throughout his whole life. Right? So, you have generational curses, but you also have generational Baruchs. Okay? And so a lot of us have Baruchs because of our forefathers. And he called Yaakov and said, my son Yaakov, may Elohim of all things Baruch you and strengthen you to do righteousness, and his will before him. And may he choose you and your seed, that you may become a people for his inheritance according to his will always. And do you, my son Yaakov, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and he kissed him, and he said, Baruch be my son Yaakov. And all the sons of all Alyan unto all the ages, may Elohim give unto you a seed of righteousness, that some of your sons he may sanctify in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve you, and all nations bow themselves before your seed. Be strong in the presence of Adam. Exercise authority over all the seed of Shath. Then your ways and the ways of your sons will be justified, so that they shall become a Qadash nation. May all Yan give you all the Baruch wherewith he hath Baruched me, and wherewith he hath Baruched Nuke, Noah, and Adam. Okay. May the rest of the sacred head of your seed form generation to generation forever, and may he cleanse you from all unrighteousness and impurity, that you may be forgiven all the transgressions which you have committed ignorantly, and may he strengthen you and Baruch you, and may you inherit the whole earth. You guys see that all of this is a petition, a palal that Abraham is making over his son and his son's sons forever throughout all the generations, and it all has to do with this oath to Yahuwah, and it's happening at the well of the oath, right? Barak Yahuah. And may he renew his oath with you. See? That you may be to him a nation for his inheritance throughout all the ages, and that he may be to you and to your seed an Elohim in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And do you, my son Yaakov, remember my words and observe the commandments of Abraham your father. Separate yourself from the nations, eat not with them, and do not according to their works. Become not their associates, for their works are unclean, and all their ways are a pollution and an abomination of uncleanness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil ruachoth, or demons. They eat over graves. All their works are a vanity of nothingness. Eat meat sacrificed to idols, Barak Yahuah. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not even see or perceive what their works are. How they err in saying, to this piece of wood you are my Elohim, or to this stone you are my Adoni, and you are my deliverer. And yet they have no heart. All right. And as for you, my son Yaakov, may Alyan help you, and the Elohim of the Shemayim Baruch you, and remove you from their uncleanliness and from all their errors. Be you ware, my son Yaakov, of taking an Ashah from any of the seed of the daughters of the Canaanite, for all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For owing to the transgression of Ham, if you guys remember, we talked about it earlier in the video series, when Noah spoke the prophecy, Baruch it be Sham, and cursed be Canaan, because of the transgression of Ham, uncovering his nakedness, which is to sleep with his own mother. Baruch. Canaan erred, and all his seed shall be destroyed from the earth, and all the remnant thereof, and none springing from him shall be delivered on the day of judgment. None. And as for all the worshippers of idols and the profane, there shall be no hope for them in the land of the living, and there shall be no remembrance of them on the earth. For they shall descend into Sheol, and into the place of condemnation shall they go. As the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth, so will all who worship idols be taken away from the earth. Fear not, my son Yaakov. Be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May Alyan guard you from destruction, and from all the paths of error may he deliver you. This house have I built for myself, that I might put my name upon it on the earth. It is given to you and to your seed forever, and it will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to you and to your seed forever, for you will build my house and establish my name before Elohim forever. Your seed and your name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and baruching him. And the two lay together in one bed, and Jacob slept in the bosom of Abraham his father's father. And he kissed him 7 times, and his affection in his heart rejoiced over him. And he baruched him with all of his heart, and he said, Al Elyon, Elohim of all, the creator of all, who brought me forth out of Ur of the Kasdim, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, that I might establish a Qadash seed, Baruked be Al Elyon forever. And Abraham got to see his seed and be with his seed and enter into agreement with him, Jacob. So, we say that there's children of the promise under Abraham, and we often will refer to all these sons from all 3 of these different wives, but it wasn't so. They did have some types of Baruchs, but not the same Baruch as Abraham. Not a continuation of that. That went exclusively to Jacob. Remember, he told Ishmael and the other sons that came from Keturah, he gave them gifts and he sent them away from Yitzhak. He separated them from Yitzhak. Right? And look at all this language that's right here. All the Baruchs that are to come upon Jacob and his seed. Okay? There's just a few more verses, and I'm going to pause in this reading, okay? And he baruched Jacob, and he said, my son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice. May your esteem and your chesed be lifted up upon him and upon his seed always. Do not forsake him, nor place him at nothing. From here on out unto this day into eternity, may your eyes be open upon him and upon his seed, that you may guard him and baruch him, and may sanctify him as a nation for your inheritance, and baruch him with all the baruchas from henceforth unto all the days of eternity, to renew this agreement, and your favor being upon him and his seed, according to all your taub pleasure, unto all the generations of the earth. Even sometimes when they're not worthy of it and they don't deserve it, and he has to chasten them with the rod and discipline them, but he's never going to depart from his agreement, because he doesn't break his oaths, right? That's what I'm saying. This is a symbol of an oath between the Creator and his chosen people, not between one man and another man. No, those oaths are broken all the time, right? This is an oath with Yahuah and Baruk Yahuah. Okay. I'm going to keep going. There's a couple verses or a couple chapters that I would like to also read out of the book of Genesis that relate directly to the well of the oath and to Abraham. But I want to finish these couple more chapters here. 23, 24, 25, okay? Please let me know if you have any questions as we continue. And he placed 2 fingers on Jacob, on his eyes, and he baruched the Elohim of Elohim, and he covered his face and stretched out his feet, and slept the sleep of eternity, and was gathered unto his fathers. So this is when Abraham passed away in Shalom and joy and comfort and fullness of days. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that word. Completeness of days. Very difficult to not speak the names of four mighty ones sometimes.
It is difficult.
It is difficult. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob was laying in his bosom, and knew not that Abraham his father had passed. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and behold, Abraham was cold as ice, and he said, Father, Father. But there was none that spoke. And he knew that he was unalive. And he arose from his bosom and ran and told Rivkah, his mother. And Rivkah went to Yitzhak in the night and told him. And they went together, and Yaakov with them. And a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying unalive. And Yitzhak fell on the face of his father and wept and kissed him, and the voices were heard in the house of Abraham. And Ishmael his son arose, and they also went to Abraham, and they wept over Abraham his father, he and all the house of Abraham, and they wept with a great weeping. And his son Yitzhak and Ishmael buried him in the double cave near Sarah his Asha, and they wept for him 40 days. And the males of the house, Yitzhak, Ishmael, all the sons of Keturah in the place. And the days of weeping for Abraham were completed. He lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and complete in days. For the days of the forefathers of their lives were 19 jubilees. And after the flood, they began to grow less than 19 jubilees. 19 jubilees, y'all? Yo, that's crazy. 19. 1, 9 times. Where's my times? 50. Sorry, doing my calculator behind us. 950. So almost up to 1,000. We're reading from Yubalym, or what they call jubilees. Yvonne, and welcome in. So before the flood, they lived 950 years, okay? And then after that, everything's getting less. And it has continued to get less and less and less. Please don't believe the lie of those who say, oh, we live longer now than ever before because of pharmakia. That's a lie, okay? Our forefathers used to live a lot longer than we do now. They were also stronger, larger, more. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm telling you that they were bigger and they were stronger. And they live longer. We have not reached our potential. I think that they were actually very wise as well. And you know, there's a great amount of foolishness around here now. You just look around, you can see it. People with doctorates and have no sense. And it's just a fact. Okay? No offense. All right? And it says right here, by reason of the manifold tribulations and the wickedness of their ways. That's why they were living shorter and shorter and shorter, because of transgression. A lot of people don't want to think about obedience being a reason why you're healthy. Obedience being a reason why you live a long, prosperous life. Well, it is. And it's just a fact of the scriptures, okay? Now it says right here, with exception of Abraham. Abraham was righteous in his age. Just like Nuke was righteous in his age, right? For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahuah, well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was completed in his days. Forgive me, Father. And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly, before they complete 2 jubilees. Their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age, and all their knowledge shall vanish away. And in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half, then they'll say regarding him, he has lived long. 1.5 versus 19. Well, I don't know what the fraction that is. 1/19.
So it's like 75 years compared to 950.
Yeah, right? What if you divided 1.5 into 19, what do you get?
I don't know.
1.5 divided by 19. Wow, 0.07%?
That's crazy.
Or is it 7%? Because I got to move the decimal twice. It's probably 7%.
Yeah.
Forgive me for my I don't know.
We've been out of 4th grade for a long time.
My math skills. And in those days, okay, then they would say, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation. See that? They'll say, oh, he had a long life. Really? He lived 7% as long as his forefathers did, and guess what? Most of the time, he was in pain and he was suffering. I have to be in pain all the time. My bones aching, being sore, difficult to get up sometimes to go, so early. All this, okay? And this is the way that it is. And there is no shalom, because calamity follows calamity. I was just saying the other day, chaos brings chaos. We were out working and we're trying to do self-checkout, and the store didn't manage how the line goes, so the line's going all crazy and you're waiting in the line and everything's all chaotic. Well, then by the time you go to do your checkout, you're making mistakes. Why? Because chaos breeds chaos. It's an entire environment of chaos, so nobody can think rationally, and that's what happens. That's a little picture of the world right now, today. All of it, the whole world has gone mad, right? Calamity follows calamity, and wounds, tribulations, evil reports, illnesses, all evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow and snow and frost and ice and fever and chills, famine and unaliving, the sword, captivity, all kinds of calamities and pains in our bodies in every way. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are unclean, and fornication, and pollution, and abomination. It's ironic. It's amazing. And then they'll brag that they're the most clean energy and all this, and it's the most uncleanness that we've seen. It's increasing upon the face of the earth. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were multiple, even unto thousands of years, and were taub. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived multiple, are 80 years and 10. And if he is strong, 80 years. That's only 80. And those evil. And there is no shalom in all the days of this evil generation, and in the generation of the sons that shall convict the fathers and the elders of chata and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning the forsaking of the agreement which Yahuwah made between them and him, the oath, that they should observe and do all of his commandments and his ordinances and his Torah, without departing either to the right hand or to the left hand. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are a pollution and an uncleanness and a destruction. Behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all these works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, no oil, for their works altogether are without trust, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds and fish of the sea, on account of the children of Adam. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, and the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the Torah and the oath. For they have forgotten the commandments, the agreement, the feasts, the months, the Shabbats, the Jubilees, the moons, the Moedim, the seasons, and all the righteous judgments. And they shall stand swords and war, turning them back into the way. But they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is their neighbor's, and they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness, and they shall defile the Qadash of Qadashis with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. It's interesting right here how it's actually saying that they will have his name in their mouth, but they won't represent him. That is true. And a great judgment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahuwah, And he will give them over to the sword and to the judgment and to the captivity, to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the transgressors of the other nations, who have neither mercy nor compassion, who shall respect the persons of none, neither old nor young nor anyone. For they are more wicked and strong to do evil than of the children of Adam. And they shall use violence against Yashar'Al, and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud, and call, and palal, that they may be delivered from the hand of the transgressors, the other nations, but none shall be delivered. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and the children of 3 weeks old shall appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the Torah, and to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness, Baruk Yahuah. And the days shall begin to grow many, and increase amongst those children of Adam, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than before was the number of days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children and as youths. And all the days shall be completed in the life of shalom and joy, and there shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of Barukah and healing. And at that time Yahuwah will heal his servants, and they shall rise up, see great shalom, drive out the adversaries, and the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all the judgments and all the curses on their enemies, and their bones shall rest in the earth, and their Ruach Ha'Qadash, their spirit, shall have much joy, and they shall know that it is Yahuwah who executes judgment and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Masha, write down these words, for thus are they written, and record them in the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. Baruk Yahuah. That's the end of chapter 23. So it just came back it just gave a prophecy of the fulfillment of paradise, of the new Jerusalem, and then it came back into the first person where the angel, the Qadash angel, is talking to Masha, which is how this scripture was put together at all. In case you were wondering how we just went from Abraham to Masha, just like that. All right, let's keep it going. Chapter 24, and it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Yahuwah Baruk Yatzak, his son, and he arose from Hebron, and went and dwelt at the well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week a famine began in the land beside the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Jacob sought lentil pottage, and Esau came from the field a hungered. And he said to Jacob his brother, give me of this red pottage. Jacob said to him, sell to me your birthright, and I will give you bread, and also red lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, well, I shall surely die. What profit is this birthright to me? And he said to Jacob, I'll give it to you. And Jacob said, swear it to me this day. And so he swore it to him. And Jacob gave his brother Esau bread and pottage, and he ate till he was satisfied. And Esau despised his birthright, and for this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Jacob gave him for his birthright. And Jacob became an elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. And the famine was over the land, and Yatzak departed to go down into Mitzrayim in the 2nd year of this week, and he went to the king of the Palestine to Gerar unto Abimelech. And Yahuwah appeared unto him, and said unto him, Go not down into Mitzrayim, but dwell in the land that I shall tell you of, and sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will Baruk you. For to you and to your seed will I give all this land, and I will establish my oath which I swore unto Abraham your father, and I will multiply your seed as the stars of the Shamayim, and I will give unto your seed all of this land. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be Baruked, because your father obeyed my voice and kept my charge and my commandments and my Torah and my ordinances and my oath. And now obey my voice and dwell in this land. And so he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years, that's 21 years. And Abimelech charged concerning him and concerning all that was his, saying, Any man that shall touch him or anything that is his shall surely die. And Yitzhak waxed strong among the Palestine, and he got many possession, oxen, sheep, camels, asses, and a great household, like many servants. And he sowed in the land of the Palestine, and he brought in 100-fold. And Yitzhak became exceedingly great, and the Palestine were envious of him. Now all the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug in the life of Abraham, the Palestine stopped them at the death of Abraham, and filled them in with dirt. And Abimelech said unto Yitzhak, Go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Yitzhak departed thence in the 1st year, the 7th week, and sojourned in the valley of Gerar. And they dug again the wells of water which the servant Abraham his father had dug, which the Palestine had closed after the death of Abraham his father. And he called on their names as Abraham's father had named them. So he's reestablishing all the wells that Abraham had that the Palestine closed up, and then he's naming them the names that Abraham gave them. And the servant of Yitzhak dug a well in the valley and found living water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Yitzhak, saying, The water is ours. And Yitzhak called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a second well, and they strove with us for that one also. And he calls the name of it Enmity. And he arose from thence and dug another well, for they that strove, and then they strove not. And so he called it Room, because he said, Yahuwah has made room for us, and we will increase in the land. Baruk Yahuah. And he went up from thence to the well of the oath, the 1st year of the 1st week of the 44th Jubilee. So that is 44 times 50. And then you have a week and a year. $44 times 50. Sometimes I like to give these numbers for understanding just a timeline. From creation, year 2208, roughly. Okay, because that's what a Jubilee is. 49 plus 1 is 50, and then a week is 7, and a year is a year, obviously. All right. Yahuwah appeared to him that night. And this is the new moon of the 1st month. Now, I've been on this for a while, so I'm going to keep it going here. The new moon is the first full moon, and it says the 1st month. So that means this is a high Shabbat. This is a Moedim of Yahuwah. It's a feast. We have a Qadash assembly, no servile work. Blow the ram's horn, the shupar, and we also make an offering by fire unto Yahuwah. Okay, 4 times a year. And so in the 1st month is spring. So this is basically because the moon is for seasons. I hope you know that, right? Spring, summer, autumn, and fall. And so the Father does mighty things on these appointed times, consistently throughout the Scripture. He does. And so here it is again. So Yahuwah is appearing unto him on the night of the new moon of the 1st month, and said unto him, I am Elohim of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you. And I shall Baruk you, and shall surely multiply your seed as the sands of the earth, for the sake of Abraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built, and he called upon the name of Yahuwah, and he offered sacrifice to the Elohim of Abraham his father. And they dug a well, and they found living water. Living water. It always reminds me when Yahusha met with the woman at the well, and he said that I will give you living water. Okay, just like we're to be immersed in living water, not baptized in a baptismal of chlorine in a circa, but immersed in living waters like a stream, a river, a lake, like this, okay, in his name. And Yitzhak said, I have sworn this day to the Palestine, and this thing has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place Well of the Oath. Now, this already existed. This isn't new. Okay, it's renewed. For there had been sworn to Abimelech and Achuzath, his friend, Pikol the perfect, and Or his host. And Yitzhak knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make shalom with them. And Yitzhak on that day cursed the Palestine and said, Cursed be the Palestine unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May Elohim make them a derision and a curse and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the transgressors and other nations, and in the hands of the Kittim. Whosoever escapes the sword of enmity of the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under the Shemayim. For they shall be enemies and foes of my children throughout their generation upon the earth, and no remnant shall be left to them, nor one that shall be delivered on the day of the wrath of the judgment, for the destruction and the rooting out and expulsion from the earth in the whole seed of the Palestine reserve. They shall no longer be left. For those Kaphtorim, a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascends unto the Shemayim, then shall he be brought down. And though he make himself strong on the earth, thence shall he be dragged forth. And though he hide himself among the nations, even from thence shall he be rooted out. You know, they're trying to hide themselves in leadership of all kinds of different nations. They will not be able to escape. Right? Like I said earlier, that's why the whirlwinds have eyes all over, because the Malachim know who's marked, who's sealed. Alright? And though he descends into Sheol, there also shall his condemnation be great, and there also shall he have no shalom. And if he go into captivity by the hands of those that seek his life, shall they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed shall be left to him on the earth, for into the eternal malediction shall he depart. And thus it is written and engraved concerning him on heavenly tablets. Right? So let it be done. To do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Just checking up here to see if I'm missing any questions or anything. I don't think I have. Baruk Yahuah. So we're in the last chapter. But I wanted to try to go, and I will probably have time to read a couple chapters out of the book of Genesis about all this as well, for like more understanding. I think it's pretty amazing, right? How the Pharaoh wanted Abraham's wife because she was beautiful, and they said that, oh, she's my sister, so he wouldn't kill him. And by the time the truth came out, he sent him away with great possessions, gold and silver and herds and all kinds of stuff. And the same thing happened to is it Yitzhak or was it Yaakov? Or maybe both. My Shah is actually falling asleep right here. She's sleeping. Anyway. And in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rivkah called Yaakov her son, and spoke unto him, saying, My son, do not take you a woman. Okay, so it was Yitzhak, yeah. Do not take you a woman from the daughters of the Canaanites, as Esau, your brother, has done, who took him 2 of the daughters of the Canaanites, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds, for all their deeds and fornications and lusts, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are pure evil. And I, my son, love you exceeding, and my heart and my affection Baruk you every hour of the day to watch and night. So it's every hour of the day and every watch of the night. For those of you who don't know, there's 12 hours in a day and 4 watches in a night. There are not 24 hours in a day. That's a lie. Baruk Yahuah. My affection Baruk you every hour of the day and every watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice and do the will of your mother, and do not take a woman from the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father and of my father's kindred. You shall take you and a Shah of the house of my father, and all Yam will Baruk you, and your children shall be a righteous generation and a Qadash seed. And then spoke Yaakov to Rivkah his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old. That's 9 times 70. My math gets slacky. I'm sorry. 9 times 7. 63. So he's saying, I'm 63 years old, and I neither know nor have ever touched a woman, nor have I betrothed myself unto any, nor even think of taking me a wife from the daughters of the Canaanites. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father, for he commanded me not to take a woman of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a woman from the seed of my father's house and from my kindred. I have heard before the daughters have been born unto Laban, your brother, and I have placed my heart on them to take a woman from among them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my Ruach against Chata, or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham, my father, gave me commandment. And despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years my brother has striven with me and spoken frequently to me, and said, My brother, take to be your Asha a sister of my 2 women, but I refuse to do as he has done. I swear before you, my mother, that all the days of my life I will not take a woman from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother has done. Fear not, mother, be assured, I shall do your will and walk in uprightness, and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face unto the Shemayim, extending her fingers of her hands and opening her mouth and baruching all Yan, who had created the heavens and the earth, and she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Baruch it be Yahuah Elohim. May his Qadashayam be Baruked forever and ever, who has given me Yaakov as a pure son, a Qadash seed, for he is yours, and yours shall his seed be continually, and throughout all the generations forevermore. Shalom Mishpaka, Shabbat Shalom. Baruch him, O Yahuah, and place in my mouth a Barukah of righteousness, that I may Baruch him at that hour when the Ruach, this says Sadakah, righteousness, which is actually Sadak, like Malak Sadak. So this is a Ruach Sadakah, descended into her mouth. She placed her hands on the head of Yaakov and said, Baruch it are you, Yahuah of righteousness and Elohim of the ages, and may he Baruch you beyond all the generations of Adam. May he give you, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to your seed, and may he make your sons multiply during your life. May they arise according to the number of months of the year, and may their sons become multiplied and great beyond the stars of the Shemayim, and their number be more than the sands of the sea. And may he give them this land as he said he would, unto Abraham and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. Please stop messaging me. And may I see born unto you, my son, Baruk it children during my life, and Baruk it and Qadash seed, may all your seed be. And as you have refreshed your mother's Ruach during her life, the womb of her that bore you, Baruk you thus, my affection and my breasts, Baruk you, and my mouth and my tongue praise you greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may your seed be perfect in the joy of Shemayim and earth forever, and may your seed rejoice, and on the great day of Shalom, may it have Shalom. And may your name and your seed endure to all the ages, and may and may all Yam be their Elohim, and may the Elohim of righteousness tabernacle with them, and by them may sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Baruch be he that baruked you, and all flesh that curse you be falsely be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, may Yahuah of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and her affection rejoicing in you, and Baruch you. And she ceased from Baruching him. Halal Yahuah. Alright, that's our 5 chapters on Yubalym this day. I'm going to go a little bit into a couple chapters that are in Barshit, because they speak directly about the well of the oath, and they talk about Abraham, and I think that they fit very well. So the first one is chapter 21. Baruk Yahuah. Barashit 21. And Yahuah visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahuah did unto Sarah as he had spoken, for Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the appointed time in which Elohim had spoken it. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, and Sarah Yatzchak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yatzchak on the 8th day, according to the commandment of Elohim. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yatzchak was born unto him. And Sarah said, Elohim has made me to laugh, so that all that are here will laugh with me. And she said, whom would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should give him children for suck? I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and became weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the day that the child was weaned, that Yatzchak was weaned. Baruch Yahuah. Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzri, which was born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast the bondwoman and her son, for this bondwoman shall not be for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Yatzchak. And everything was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Elohim said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in your sight because of the lad, and because of the bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said unto you, hearken unto her voice, for in Yatzchak shall your seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman will I make into a nation, because he is your seed. Right? That's the Ishmaelites. Sorry, what? Is this group real, or those that say they are and are not? SOS? No, it's real. Qadashayam, not Sarim. Yeah. Sons and daughters of the living Elohim, not those that say that they're Yashar'Al and do lie. Hope that you know Joey Wayside. If you check the etymology of the word Hebrew, you'll see that it's a Latin word from the 12th century. And also Israelites is Isis, Ra, and El. These are 4 mighty ones. So you should be saying Abrim Yasharalim. Abrim Yasharalim. Stop following after those Yiddish tongues and those Yiddish words, all that Latin stuff. You know, I'm just saying. Baruk Yahuah, welcome. Hope you stay. Alright. Elohim said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in your sight, because of the lad and because of the bondwoman. And all that Sarah has said unto you, hearken to her voice, for in Yatzchak shall your seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman I will make into a great nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham rose up early in the dawning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it to Hagar and put it onto her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Be'er-sheba, which is the well of the oath. So you see how we already have it mentioned here. This is much earlier. Yitzhak's not even born yet. Baruk Yahuah. Or he just was, okay? Yeah, no, sorry, he just was. I do apologize, of course. So Hagar was sent away with Ishmael, and they went into the area of this oath. And it says, and the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat her down over against him in a taub way, like about a bow shot away, and said, let not me see the unaliving of my child. And she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And Elohim heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of Elohim called to Hagar out of the Shemayim, and said unto her, what ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for Elohim has heard the voice of the lad, where he is. Arise, lift up your head, hold him by the hand, for I will make him a great nation. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw the well of water. And she went and filled the bottle of water and gave the lad unto drink. He made an oath with her in that moment as well, right? At the well of the oath, Baruk Yahuah. And Elohim was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a woman out of the land of Mitzrayim. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech, Pichal, the chief captain of his host, spoke unto Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear 7 oaths unto me here by Elohim, that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according unto the kindness that I have done unto you, you shall do unto me, and to the land wherein you have sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear 7 oaths. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water, which Abimelech's servant had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I know not who has done this thing, neither did you tell me, neither yet have I hear of it until this day. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them cut a covenant. And Abraham placed 7 lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said, what means these 7 lambs which you have placed unto themselves? And he said, for these 7 lambs shall you take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have dug this well. Wherefore he called that place Bar-Shaba, well of the oath, because there they swore 7 oaths, both of them. Thus they cut covenant at Bar-Shaba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Pichal and the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Palestine. And Abraham planted a grove in Be'er-sheba, and called there on the name of Yahuwah. And Abraham sojourned in the Palestine land multiple days. There are actually several oaths made between Yahuwah and other male and female, at that location. That's pretty amazing. Let's take a look at chapter 26 real quick. So there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Yitzhak went unto Abimelech, remember, king of the Palestine, at Gerar. And Yahuwah appeared unto him and said, go not down into Mitzrayim, but dwell in the land which I shall tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will Baruk you. For unto you and unto your seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the 7 oaths which I swore unto Abraham your father. Yahuwah swore these oaths to Abraham at this place as well, and now Yitzhak, right? This is amazing, you guys. It's amazing stuff. Baruk Yahuah. And I will make your seed to multiply as the stars of the Shemayim, and I will give unto your seed all the countries, and in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be baruked, because Abraham obeyed my voice, and did guard and watch my commandments and my statutes and my Torah. And Yitzchak dwelt in Gerar. And the people of that place asked him about his Asha. And he said, oh, she's my sister. For he feared to say that she is my woman. The same thing happened to Abraham and the Pharaoh. Okay, remember I was telling you? So let's said the people, the males of this place shall kill me for my wife, Ribkah, or Ravka, because she was beautiful. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Avimelech, king of the Palestine, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Yitzchak was sporting with Rivkah his Asha. And Avimelech called Yitzchak and said, behold, of a surety, she is your Asha. How is it that you say that she is my sister? And Yitzchak said, because I said that lest I shall die for her. And Avimelech said, what is this that you have done unto us? One of the people might lightly have been lying with your Shah, your woman, and you should not be bringing guilt upon us. And Abimelech charged all of his people, saying, he that touches this man or his woman shall be surely put to death. Then Yitzchak sowed in the land and received in the same year an hundredfold, and Yahuwah baruked him. He did it like in the same way. It's amazing. Abba Yah is amazing. And the man waxed great and went forth and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks and herds and a great store of servants. And the Palestine were envious of him. For all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, the Palestine had stopped them up and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Yitzchak, go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Yitzchak departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley Gerar, and dwelt there. And Yitzchak dug again the wells of water, which had been dug in the days of Abraham his father. And the Palestine had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called them their names by which his father had called them. And Yitzchak's servant dug in the valley, and found there a well of springing water, living water. And the herdsmen in Gerar did strive with Yitzchak's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of that one Esech, because they strove with him. And they dug another well and strove with them, and they called that name Sitnah. And he removed from thence and dug another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rechobah. And he said, for now Yahuwah has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Ba'ar Shabah, and Yahuwah appeared unto him that same night and said, I am Ahayah, I am the Elohai of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, Ahayah, and I will Baruk you and multiply you and your seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of Yahuwah, and pitched his tent there. And there Yitzchak's servant dug a well. And Avimelech went to him from Gerar, and Achuzah, one of his friends, and Pikal, the chief captain of his army. And Yitzchak said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing you hate me, and have sent me away from you? And he said, we saw certainly that Yahuwah was with you, and so we said, let there be an oath between us, even between us and you, and let us cut an agreement with you, that you will do us no hurt, as we have not touched you, as we have done unto you nothing but taubness, and have sent you away in Shalom. You are now Baruked of Yahuwah. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and they arose early in the dawning, and swore 7 oaths one unto another, and Yitzchak sent them away, and they departed from him in Shalom. So I saw a lot of people thought that that the purpose of the oath was this agreement, not knowing about all the previous agreements. And that's why I was like, oh, I gotta go with this title and talk about this, because this is established going much farther back in an agreement that Yahuwah made with Abraham, that he was going to have seed of his own from his wife Sarah. They were old and they didn't believe that they could have children. That was a promise. I'm going to multiply you and your seed as the stars of the Shemayim and the sand of the seashore, right? Baruk Yahuah. And there now we can see have been a lot of different oaths established at that location. And it came to pass the same day that Yitzhak's servant came and told him concerning the well which they had dug, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Shavah, which actually this is Shabbat, which is oath, right? Therefore the name of the city is Ba'ar Shabbat, well of the oath, unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to be his woman Yahudit, the daughter of Ba'ari the Hittite, and Bashamat, the daughter of Elyon the Hittite, which were grief of mine unto Yitzhak and Ribkah. Baruk Yahuah. I don't know who John is. You can call me Yarmiyahu. I don't even know if you're still in here. But I just now saw your question. Alright, Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. Let me see if there is anything else that I wanted to share with you guys on this section. I was wondering if there were going to be any questions, so please let me know if you have any questions. It looks like the number of people that were in here has dwindled greatly. I don't know the reason why, but Abba knows. Okay, so, and today is the 10th, we are in the 10th month, and it is the 14th day of the 10th month. Baruk Yahuah. So this is the second Shabbat of the 10th month, and we are in the winter. And wanted to see, we don't have any other feasts coming up the remainder of the year, okay? And I will work on the calendar sometime in the coming weeks to prepare all the dates for the next calendar. I will also try to mention right now on this video that the last day of the year, I do apologize because I'm looking at the laptop screen and it's pretty difficult to see. Oh, I know what I could do. I could make this larger. 3/12/2025 is the last day of the year. It is the last pagan day, I should say, of Yahuwah's calendar. Okay? So we'll be starting up a new calendar with 3/13/2025 being the first pagan day in the new year. You are wondering the last day of the year? Yep, there you go. Baruk Yahuah. You did get a copy of the calendar, right? So if you go to the end of the 12th month there, Aki, you'll also see it. Also, please know that every year of Yahuwah ends on a Shabbat. Okay? The last day of months 3, 6, 9, and 12 is a Shabbat. Always on Yahuwah's Moedim. So, Baruk Yahuah. That's why when we begin a brand new year, we have 6 days of work and a 7th day of rest, because it's starting a whole new week and a whole new year. Baruk Yahuah. You still don't have it? Dang, bro. What's up with that? Can you like literally just type your email into the, can you just type it right there right now? Maybe you don't want to, so I don't want to force you to do that. But if you did, I'll type it in right now into my laptop. That's where I'd send those from. See, I don't do TikTok on my laptop, but my laptop has all the emails and all the calendar files and all that stuff. So I just use the TikTok like on my phone. But anyway, I wanna make sure that you have it. I'm not sure why you don't. Did anyone else have any questions while I'm in here? I wanted to say In the beginning of the video, I talked a little bit about wheels within wheels, that those aren't just like UFOs or rings with eyes all over. They're whirlwinds and judgments. And that's going to be coming upon the earth. And I don't want anyone to think that those who fall to pestilence, to famine, and to war are innocent. And I know that sounds harsh, but we need to make sure that we understand that the judgments of Yahuwah are coming, and they're already been here, to be honest. I understand us to be in a time of the fourth seal, when the numbers of unaliving from those three things are becoming very, very prominent. The Qadashayam, the true sons of Elohim, are going to be crying out to him for all of this that we're having to see and bear witness, and knowing the truth and seeing these things. And so with that will come the fifth seal. And Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. All is well. Seek him. Submit yourself to him. Obey him. And live. Be clean. Understand the Torah, the instructions. Walk in righteousness, in righteous judgments, in Qadash rulings. Alright, so, look, from my household to yours, Baruk Atah and Ahaba. As always, email me if you have questions, concerns, prayer requests, praise reports, any of those things. We're continuing to watch and expecting incredibly dark things to be happening in a very mighty way. And I think that huge amounts of people are going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. That's why I feel led to do the video Wheels Within Wheels, because of people believing in outer space and aliens and UFOs and military cover-ups and all, and all this stuff, and don't understand the true cosmology of this place that Yahuwah has made for his purposes, for his taub pleasure, and that these entities are wicked spirits who are trying to deceive and devour and shed much blood upon the face of the earth. Alright? And they're going to suffer mightily for it. Baruk Yahuah. Alright? That's love, family. Shalom. By the power and will of Yahweh, Yahusha, the Messiah, the one who we love him because he first loved us. Right? Because while we were yet enemies at enmity with the Most High, he humbled himself. He took on flesh. He took on the role of a servant. He lived a perfect, righteous, or Qadash life. He willingly laid his life down. No one took it from him. He bore our iniquities on his body. He was impaled on a tree. He was in the tomb 3 days, and he rose again in power, in sovereignty, in majesty, in all esteem. All esteem Yahusha. Yahusha comes in the name of the Father, Yahuwah. Baruk is he who comes in the name of the Most High. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You'll also find the email in the description of all YouTube videos. So send us a message, a praise report, a prayer request. Much love.